Brody's big issues when it comes to dogs is what is referred to as dominance aggression. And dominance aggression breaks down and shows itself in many different ways. Some of it is simply just in that first social interaction when he's first meeting a new dog. Dogs who are concerned with the hierarchy and social status, they want to figure it out with that new dog who's on top, who's going to have access to resources. So his concern is very much that. When I'm meeting a new dog, it's very serious, it's very business-like, and if it has to turn into an altercation, it will, because I need to figure out who's on top. He's hardwired that way, as are many dogs in the wild, right? We've domesticated that out of them for the most part, but a lot of dogs still do carry that. So it's dominance, it's dominant aggression, and I'll break that down further. It's important to know that a dog like this, Rody, in my opinion, he's what you would refer to as a beta dog who's trying to be alpha, okay? And so that's why he's so mega concerned about social status. He so badly wants to be in control of everything. But he's beta, and what does that mean? Well, that means he's not at the bottom of the totem pole, and he knows it. So that's part of the issue, is he knows that some of these other dogs around here are kind of lower than him in status, and he wants to assert himself over it because he knows he can. And so, cool thing is, if you become the alpha, I hate to use these terminologies because people poison them over the years, but if you become that leader, that alpha figure, the dominant figure, you can disagree with all that and start creating, check this out, start creating more curiosity, sniffing at a dog he's never met. Good boy. Anytime he growls though, or gets concerned, my responsibility as the pack leader is to address it physically, in which I already did. First thing he did when he seen the new dog come in was give a little grumble. I corrected that firmly. Now the dog's getting closer. We're not seeing a grumble, we're seeing curiosity. Why? Because this guy, I said, is okay. And I get to make that choice, not him, right? So a dog like that needs to be put in their place in the pack. You know, he needs to understand his role. And his role is not to say who's allowed to come in and out. That's my role. Don't mess with my role, otherwise you have me to deal with. And that's the kind of vibe that I want to give off, and now I can keep him soft. Right? Good boy, Tuck. Because he doesn't, this is my house. I pay the mortgage, all that stuff. If he paid the mortgage, maybe I'd let him have some say. But he doesn't. So I'm going to decide who comes in and out. A list of triggers that will cause Rody to become aggressive and assertive. And basically I'm breaking it down between into two categories, which is dogs and people. And for dogs, he's very much concerned about social status, so he will become assertive and potentially aggressive to a dog through social seeking behaviors, you know, such as the sniff and humping and things like this. He wants to assert himself on them. He will also correct rude social interactions, such as a dog coming up on him too hot and heavy, a dog coming near him while he's around a resource. These are rude social interactions, and he wants to take liberty to correct those. Plus, just resources in general. So he wants to guard resources and claim resources, and one of those resources is the one that people forget about, is his person. So he definitely feels like I'm his person right now, and so he has the urge to claim me from other dogs. Okay, so those are really the three things. It's really going to be social seeking behaviors, which we refer to as dominance. He'll become assertive and potentially aggressive over that. He'll become potentially aggressive over guarding and claiming resources, and he'll also become corrective towards other dogs, which is also aggression, to correct rude social interactions. So those are the three that I'm seeing. As far as people, his default setting in association to people is everybody is a potential threat. So he walks around with the belief they're guilty until proven innocent, right? So, and what I mean by that is I was once that stranger that he thought was a potential threat, and now he does not see me that way. He accepts me as part of his pack, and I'm no longer, you know, I can walk into a room and there's no issues, right? Every stranger is a potential threat, and that's his belief. So that's what causes him to get defensive. So as soon as I see a stranger, defensive. That stranger starts to put pressure on me spatially, gets closer, then I might actually go from defensive to offensive and become assertive and use my teeth. So these are really, that's all I've seen so far. I think that's all it is. I mean, that's a lot. That's a laundry list. I mean, that's like everyday situations can set this guy off easily, right? Because those things come up all the time. But we've identified them. We've identified them with the dogs. We know what's going on, and we know what's going on with people. So understanding that allows me to really have a solid approach moving forward. So I think we're making a ton of progress. Mine and his relationship is getting better and better every day. I feel like he respects me and trusts me pretty darn good, to the point where I can disagree with things. In my presence, he will keep himself from becoming the way that he was. So, for example, with Riggins here, he is not going to be a big fan if I start coming over here and loving on Riggins, right? Because what he wants to tell Riggins is that I'm his resource. Don't come near him, right? He started to show this yesterday, that he was saying, this human is mine. And I'm glad that I got to see that, because that's going to cause all sorts of issues going home if he views his owner that way. And he views me as his owner right now, which is, so I'm getting to see it. So the first time he displayed this assertiveness towards Riggins to try to claim me, then I had to disagree with that with physical corrections, right in the presence of Riggins, deal with that, and then guess what I did? I brought them back together and I set it up again, right? So he learns, listen, in my pack, you can't fight for resources. You can't fight for dominance. You can't use your teeth when you're uncomfortable. And I'm giving him alternative behaviors to do instead. So you're uncomfortable out in the yard, come to me. I'll make sure no dogs go around you, and I'll make sure that you get time to breathe. You don't want him coming up on me? Too bad. There's certain things that he's just going to have to learn now that I'm his leader and I'm his owner, if you will, how to behave accordingly. And now once I can get him to behave accordingly, hopefully we can start changing some of this stuff pretty deeply and transfer it to his owner. So yeah, complex dog, but really lots and lots of potential. In my opinion, lots of potential. Although these things can be dangerous, the truth is he's just doing what dogs do naturally, and he needs to be told that he needs more and more experiences where I can correct for the wrong decisions, and then start really letting him know when he's making the right decisions. So anytime he does something wrong, baby, we're setting it right back up until he makes the right choice, and so that he has a clear understanding in that experience which one works out best for him, okay, and which one I desire. So he's going to learn me, and that's the thing about dogs, is they can learn you and your rules and your regulations and your boundaries. So he's just learning me, and soon I will have him how I want him to be, and he'll be happy and I'll be happy, and then the real work starts, which is trying to get all this to transfer over to his owner.